friends, to show yourself friendly. So show a little friendliness, please. Avery, you tried to recruit front row people? Rots a rock on that. Please, nobody hit Avery. She's trying to. My pictures are so much better when the front row is filled, and I preach so much better. It's your choice. I mean, if you want a mediocre sermon, or if you want me to bring my A game, you fill in the front row. It's a beautiful day. We're in one mind and one accord. We set our intention for blessing and strength and life. There is a strong vibration in this place of God words. This is a miraculous week. The word became flesh and dwelt among us and continues to do so. The word is becoming flesh today. The heavenly host is still singing, and we still resonate with those words: peace on earth and goodwill to people, or peace to people of goodwill. We have that goodwill. We have those good intentions. We set out our intention that this will be a successful day, the beginning of a beautiful week with a very prosperous Christmas. It's a great day to be alive. We're grateful that we lived to see another holiday season. We celebrate every bit of it. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's please remain standing and let's run this. I said I was going to just start running this, but as you see, I haven't. Come in, come in, come in, come in. How's it feel in the front row? You've been promoted. It's going to change everything in your life. Front row is a whole other paradigm. Eldridge. Good morning. Welcome to Metron. Bonjour. Buenos dias. Willkommen. Glad that you were here. Haven't seen some of you since Wednesday night. Wednesday night was a blast, was it not? Yeah. Turned out to be a great evening. Loved. I'm assuming y'all all got home safely. I texted many of you to make sure you did. And from the, you better laugh. And then some of the texts I got back, I was like, friends don't let friends text. All right, anyway. But I just want to make sure you're safe at home. I don't care that you were speaking in tongues on the text. This has been a beautiful month, and I'm so happy that Marshall's been able to be with us to finish out this year. And we actually brainstormed the other night because I really like his involvement and want to make it a little more permanent. But I don't want to start a staff again, so we're trying to figure out how do we do that, and we're open up to a lot of ideas. But let's just say December will not be the last time you see Marshall and Corey, because I felt very, very strong connection with them, and I'm sure today will be no exception. Would you please welcome our friend and our brother, Marshall Ruffin. Marshall! Yes.
Please sit down. Okay, this is my last chance to play some Christmas music, so I'm going to do that. This is a weird arrangement of a song I like, because that's what I do. weather outside is frightful. Fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Doesn't show signs of stopping. We brought some corn for popping. Lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, oh, how I hate to go into the storm. Long as you hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, my dear, is still dying. So as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, oh, how I hate to go into the storm. Long as you hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, but my dear, we're still goodbying. So as long as you love me so, as the lights are turned way down low, and since we've got no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Love it.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm and all is bright round your virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender, tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, and with the dawn of redeeming grace, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, start at that birth. Oh, silent night, holy night, shepherds they quake at the sight. Glory stream from heaven above, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. So sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Yeah, I love that. You gotta do something else.
Okay, one more. I'm doing 2 night songs in a row. Hopefully that doesn't bother anybody. Hold on. Just talk nice things with each other.
Ask your neighbor what Santa Claus brings you.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and his soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices all night. All night. When Christ was born, all night, all holy night, all night and by light of the faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. Silent by light of the stars serenely gleaming, here came the wise men from Orient land. Oh, the King of Kings, yes, lay thus in lonely manger, and in all our trials, oh, he was born to be our friend. Oh, he knows our need, and in weakness ain't no stranger. I said his power and glory evermore proclaim. So truly he is taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Change shall he break for the slave. He is my brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in graceful chorus raise we. Let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. Yes, his power. 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 Evermore Thanks.
Wow. Woo. Marshall Revan. You may be seated. It was a great Christmas gift to us all, Marshall. Thank you. I told him the other night, I said, very few people understand this. Some people cover a song that somebody else has done. Other people interpret a song. And interpreting a song is a different thing. Interpreting means you give homage to the writer, but also you're turning that diamond a little bit differently, and another light hits it. You see another facet of it. But that last one, that wasn't about interpreting song. I don't know if you're familiar with the word anointing, but that was anointed. You might not know what it was, but you was all up in it. Good stuff. Thank you for being here. I see we have some first timers. Welcome, welcome. Glad that you're here. Back in the day, I used to make you stand and fill out a card. Now we're just like, I don't want to hassle you. You're always welcome. Come back anytime. Make yourself at home. No visitation committees coming to your house. We ain't Baptists. Always glad to have my firstborn son and his beautiful lady, Jared and Meredith. I heard your party was a big success. Judah said, apparently she put some food together too, so you better go. I've talked about you a lot the last few days with Kira. I don't know if you saw the picture of us in Brooklyn. She said, Jared, in that part of Brooklyn, yeah. And she said, Jared didn't think you would go to the ghetto. Can I get a picture of you? That's why I was doing a forget about it. Brooklyn's amazing. It's really going through a renaissance right now, and all these, neighborhoods that were dangerous to walk through 10 years ago are now being gentrified, and they're just it's incredible what's happening there. It's like the status place to, especially that area they call Dumbo. It's what is it? The district under Manhattan Bridge overpass. It's like Soho or Tribeca. All of them. They're trying to start that in Atlanta. They're trying to call that area south of North Avenue Sono, but Atlantans don't quite pick up on that yet. Couple of things. The party of the night was just great. Didn't you love La Maison Rouge? Wasn't that great? Everything worked out. Everybody was cool with the valet. Do you see why you had to have it there? Because otherwise, you would never know where to park. So that worked out great. And those, I hope you tipped them. Those guys were awesome. They were like, he had an umbrella helping me get out of the car and put my coat on. I was like, wow, just hang out with us. But that was great, and the place was great. The food wasn't the food awesome, and we got in last night as if I hadn't eaten enough. And Hannah had given us some of the stuff. I said, let's heat it up, have a little bit more party. We had a little taste. That was great, and you all looked beautiful. I thought we had a great time. I loved the soundtrack that Jonah put together. It was perfect for that venue. I mean, I felt like you'd walked into New Orleans in the 20s. You know, I was looking for Bessie Smith to come out and sing at any moment. Anyway, I don't know. Were we able to show some pictures? You just show my blog post. I could show you. That was us being all cute, and that was the amazing food. And I hope you didn't mind that they had all the stuff that I like. I mean, I hope you liked it too. But I basically, that you can't see, that was me showing everybody the belt line. That was me showing everybody. See, some of you never thought you'd see yourself on a movie screen, but there you are. There's your big break. There was us all being cute. And let's see, that was me doing something. And Jackie, that is a great picture of you, by the way. I meant to tell you, that's like really good. You look like it's cute, and cute. Would you stop that? You look beautiful. And notice I always hold the microphone. Here's me reacting to something Sonia was saying. Will was on a roll until he mentioned how much older I was than him, and then somebody needs to sit him down. And no, you all look great. Everybody looks great. I look amused. Judah did good. It was good. That was me. I like that picture. That's cool. The candlelight. And that's my daughter and granddaughter. That's cute. If you see yourself on here, let me just tell you, because I'm looking at myself, the screen adds about 10 pounds to you. So don't look and go, holy crap. No, it's really, it's the screen. It's not you. I didn't see that one. That's that's the first time I've seen that. Was that on my page? Oh, I didn't see that. That's really beautiful. Oh, that's good. That's good, Teresa. Look at you on the big screen. Cute. Roz is so happy she didn't have to do anything. What was that like, just to walk out and say goodnight? Oh, that's good. I didn't see that one. Where are these pictures coming from? I didn't see these. I don't know what that's about, but something was happening there. Y'all better get off this picture. You don't want to know. All right, that's enough. Anyway, it was great. Thanks for coming. And as you know, our outreach this month was Virginia Highland Church. I got a really nice message from Pastor Piazza. Some of you know Marvin Matthews. He's sung with the Gaithers. He's very well known. Anyway, he was in town singing for them the other day. And Pastor Piazza wrote me and he said, first of all, I want to thank you, Metron, for what you gave this month. But also, he said, Marvin Matthews said, why aren't you good friends with Jim Swilley? You're missing an awesome relationship with a great man of God that's right around the corner from you. And so we're going to have dinner with them. And so that was, so good things came out of it, and really, really good. I'll give you before the end of the year, I'll tell you all the places that we gave to this year. I was thinking, why the other day I got a Christmas card from Marlo Thomas. I'm like, that girl is sending me, and it's because we gave to St. Jude's. How does Marlo Thomas know me? And then, that's all right. Anyway, that's good. Thank you for that. And I think that's everything I needed to announce. I'm not going to do an outline today. I just want to share some things on my heart with you. Can I tell you just a little praise report about our trip? Do you get tired of me telling you about, here, you're another fabulous trip? Are you happy? My cousins, Dane and Hannah, you have to do a timeout because I know the power of words. I know we should not say these words, but you have to understand our sense of humor. Like, if I ever have something that they are envious of, they always say, we hate you passionately, or we want to kill ourselves. And I know that's terrible. If you've had suicide in your family, please don't weird out. But like, we have this, I mean, they're my cousins and it's a bad, but like, they'll like, seeing you in New York makes us want to kill ourselves. And I'm like, a horrible, violent death. Yeah, it's like, that is so beautiful. So that's why the whole time we were doing it, they kept saying, we just want you to know we totally despise you. And we're like, that is the sweetest thing I've ever said, because I know what they really mean. And I know words are powerful, so that's time out. But yeah, we had a great time. You get what you pay for. And I found a really good fare on Frontier Airlines, and it was early in the morning, which very early. We were, at the party, we hadn't even packed yet. And I'd done a funeral that afternoon, which actually, I got to tell you, the funeral turned out to be a real blessing. You remember, I told you about the gentleman. I never knew him from church. I knew them after I came out, but Harold and his partner were together for 45 years. And Dan, he wasn't diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but he'd had a stroke and was in dementia. He was 80 years old, and they wanted to get married. And you remember last year we went before it was legal in all 50 states, we went to North Carolina and married them. And it was really sweet. And it's a side to relationships like that I think a lot of people don't know exist. Because this is a man who's been with somebody longer than most straight couples I know that have been together, and is taking care of him. And Dan is completely dependent on him. Anyway, Dan passed away, and last Sunday, as a matter of fact. And I don't mean to sound cold about this, but Ken came to the bathroom. He's crying. He said, Dan died. And I'm like, oh, please tell me the funeral's not going to be Thursday or Friday. I've been doing this a long time, so I immediately think, when's the funeral? Anyway, we did it Wednesday, which was a very full day already, not a day I wanted to drive out to Conyers. And yet it turned out to be a really beautiful thing. I've never done a funeral at Ward's Funeral Home there, at the new one. Not that I'm advertising funeral homes. It's absolutely the nicest, most state-of-the-art funeral home I've ever been to. And I've worked with the Wards for years. I mean, Horace Ward, the granddaddy, he had his place over on 155 over there. I've worked with them for years. My uncle worked with them, and they've always been really nice and very professional. But they've definitely taken the funeral business to a whole other level out there. And I was impressed. And you know how sometimes you need to change you change the energy on your memory of a place. And I got to tell you, because I know most of y'all live there, so I'm not bad mouthing your hometown, but sometimes when I have to drive to Conyers and do something, I have to work through some stuff in my head. It's not easy for me to do it. I don't like it. And just as we were in traffic and on 138, and I said, I hate driving to Conyers. I mean, I was like already putting that out there. And I thought, I'm going to have to change this energy. And it actually turned out to be really nice to be able to, like, Harold and Dan's families have not spoken to them in decades. And he had one brother that finally came. And, after all these years, you're like, dear Lord, they've been together 45 years. I mean, y'all have made your point that you disapprove. Can you just come to the funeral? Could you just that's why what I'm teaching this month about goodwill is so important. Peace on earth and to people of goodwill, or goodwill to people. And so anyway, I just did my thing, and I didn't realize it till this morning. We were talking about it driving in. I said, I just realized that something really got healed in me at that funeral, because I'm sitting there with people who knew me from Church in the Now, people who knew me from the community and stuff. And I'm talking about them getting married. And I referred to Ken. I said, when my husband Ken and I went there, and there was something about standing. I mean, you can't believe how many people I've buried in that cemetery in the last 30 years. And to be able to stand in that same place and totally be myself and talk about it. And Harold wrote me yesterday and he said the people were just blown away because they didn't know you knew the Bible. Because I don't take a Bible, I don't carry a Bible with me. I mean, whatever I'm going to quote, I just quote it. I haven't carried a Bible. I don't even know where a Bible is. I mean, if I need to look something up, I'll look it up on my phone. But if I'm, I just get up and say, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. I mean, I've been doing that for years. So, and I think people were pleasantly surprised. And it turned out to be kind of a blessing that happened. Anyway, it was a full day. We get back in time to get to the party, which he wanted to do the funeral at 4:00. And I said, Harold, you're going to have to move it up a little bit. I gotta be over at the Paris and Ponce by 5:30, which that worked out great. And I did learn this, a couple of months ago. Kairos time always triumphs over Chronos time, always. So I've learned that. I got a hold of that, so I don't stress over time. But we did have an early flight, so I said let's get up at 4, because I want to make sure. I don't know what the traffic will be like. That we had left plenty of time. I hate driving to the airport stressed out, and that I hate that thing. I'd rather be there for an hour and drink coffee and relax than to be like, dear God. So we had left him plenty of time, and still there was an accident on the expressway, and we were just stopped. It's one of those things where it's like you're in a parking lot. And the first 20 minutes that we sat there, I thought, we'll be fine. And then at a certain point, you're like, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make this flight. I mean, unless God could translate us, by the time we got to, check bags, it's not going to happen. So I said, we'll figure it out. Well, with Frontier, if you miss it, you've just missed it. And they didn't have another flight for the rest of the day. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Because I've already paid for stuff in New York and whatever. So I go to Delta and ask, can I get a ticket? When they told me what a ticket cost, the thing after I fell out in the floor, and they called 911 to revive me. I said, well, that's not going to work. And he said, why don't you go online and see if you can find one? And I did, and I found one. It was still expensive, but it wasn't as, you didn't just go right into shock, So I thought, well, thank God I got the money. So we did it, and it was fine. So we got there, and let me tell you this again. Everything that happens in your life is a parable in the making. If you're on a trip, if you're on a project or whatever, and you see it go in a certain way, you have to change the energy on it. Like if it's starting to move in a negative direction, unless the universe is just telling you don't go or change your plans, because that's happened to me a couple of times where I thought, you know what, there's enough signs. I don't think I'm supposed to go on this trip. But with this one, I thought, no, this is an aggravation, and we spent some money I didn't want to spend, but fine. So we get there, and the cab driver takes us to the wrong hotel. I'm like, okay, this isn't my mojo. I'm the guy with the perfect trips. And I said, it's fine. I know where the hotel is, just because the traffic's crazy this time of year in New York. I said, just let us out here and we'll walk to it. It was close. So we walk to it. We get there, and she says, I'm sorry, I don't have a Swilley. And I'm like, I'm changing the energy on this thing. I said, yes, you do. And she's, well, there's several of these hotels in Manhattan. I said, I know, ma'am, but I know this is the one. I know this is what I said, and so she had to call somebody else. And I'm like, oh Lord, okay. I've missed a flight. I've had a cab driver take me to the wrong thing. Now they can't find the number. This is me. I have awesome trips. So somebody else came over, and the way the computer had divided it, it said Jim Earl Swilley, like my last name started with an E. And I said, okay, fine, as long as I'm in here. And I said, really, what I wanted, because if you get a hotel around Times Square, they're expensive, but the higher up you go, and if you face Times Square, they get even more expensive. So I didn't pay for one of those high up rooms, but I told her, I said, we really wanted to stay here because it's our anniversary is next week. And this is kind of our anniversary. And so she just looked at me. She said, I'm going to upgrade you for no extra charge and give you facing. So they put us up on the 50th floor. We're facing Times Square. And I thought, there I am. I was wondering where I was for a few hours. Where did I go? And there I am. We get to the room. They complimentary champagne and that's what we stay. Complimentary champagne and chocolate covered strawberries. I'm like, okay, whoo. I was wondering where my mojo went because I'm the guy that has the Red Seas part. That's why, and let it be a reminder to you when it's not going your way, don't get sucked into that vortex. You have to change it and say, no, we're not going to spiral downward. We're going to move it. So once we got in that zone, it was awesome. And my friend Dominic that I've been talking about for years, he came and met us at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and they had this. I didn't know y'all had all these. Yeah, that's St. Patrick's. I don't know what you're showing behind me. I better check them out. But I don't know what St. Patrick's seats, but it was packed. There's thousands and thousands of people, and we got there early. We had practically a front row seat. Dominic came and met us, and that's before everybody filed in. Oh yeah, there we are. That's everybody singing Silent Night, and it really touched me. And I looked over. I mean, I haven't talked to Dominic in 30 years, and we've reconnected. And I looked at it, and I'm like, it's just really valuable to me. It was awesome, and he took us out to dinner, and that was great. So the next day, Kira, remember when Jared and Meredith came with that writer from Brooklyn? She's started out doing a story on Jared because she's a Black Lips fan. But then as she's doing the writing about him, the story becomes about him and me. And so I don't know where it's all going, but there's something very cool is happening with all of that. She's a very well-known writer and has written for Vogue and Rolling Stone and all that. So we'll see what happens with that. But she wanted to give us a little tour of Brooklyn. So I said, all right, let's do it Friday because we want to go down to the bottom of the island. We want to go up in the new One World Trade Center. And so we were running a little bit late. And are you still showing pictures? Yeah, that's it. That right there, that structure is this is the edge of where the old World Trade Center was. And that's a structure that's right there where the subway comes in, but it's supposed to be reminiscent of when all the steel work was all bent. It's supposed to look like a phoenix's wings or whatever. A lot of beautiful symbolism. Anyway, we got there, and it's one of those things where when you have limited time, you got to think about, all right, do we have time to do this? And so we got there. We had just enough time. I said, all right, let's go see if there's no line to get up here. We can get to the top. We can see this before she comes to pick us up. Because she had said, I'll text you when I'm on the Brooklyn Bridge and let you know. Okay, fine. So we get up there and it says line 5 to 10 minutes, which is unheard of. Usually people are like around the block. I said, all right, go, let's go. So we go, and it's amazing. Well, while we're up there, she's texting me saying, I'm on the bridge. I'm like, give us time. We're like looking pictures. So she's approaching. Well, the way people go into the 9/11 memorial, whatever, it's like a madhouse around there. And they block off streets without telling you. And so she had texted and said, where I was going to pick you guys up is it's blocked off. We're going to find another place. I said, well, fine, because we're on the 102nd floor right now. It's going to take a minute to get down. So we get down, and it's one of those things where I said, you know what? I told him, I said, we're just going to have to text her until we find, because there's not even a place to stop your car. Like, you can't even stop without a cop saying, you got to move. So it's virtually in the natural impossible to connect. We get down. I'm not exaggerating. We walk outside, and I thought, where do we even start trying to connect with her? I'm not even sure which way Fulton Street is from here. And as I was texting the words, I'm standing behind a hot dog vendor on the corner of West and Versey. So help me God, she said, I just pulled in behind a hot dog vendor on the corner of West and Versey, and I looked, and she's standing right there. I was like, what the what? She said, this is impossible. No friend of mine in New York will believe that this happened. I said, I was thinking it was going to take 30 minutes for us to find each other. She said, I don't know. I just pulled in here and it's like we didn't even just boom, there we were. So she takes us across the bridge, gives us a great tour, takes us to her 5-story brownstone, which was amazing. And it was just great. So I'm like, okay, now we're back in our mojo. And so it was great. And then Friday night we went to, he'd never been to Radio City Music Hall, so we went and saw the thing. And it is what it is. I mean, it's Rockettes and Santa Claus or whatever, and I just love the building and all the Art Deco architecture. But yeah, that's it. That was our seats before the crowd got in. But at the very last of it, they do this amazing, I mean, it's over the top production, but it's this beautiful nativity scene. And they got wise men coming in with real camels and sheep and goats and donkeys. And I saw it years ago, and it's kind of, now that's actually, that's at St. Patrick's. That's a reenactment of the, that's about this size. But anyway, it really touched me. And the Bible doesn't say who the wise men were, but there's the legend of the 3 wise men, and one of them was from Arabia. And you think about all that's happening with ISIS and everything. And when he said one of the king, and they bow before Jesus, I don't know. So I really kind of lost it, and that was beautiful. Well, then yesterday, I said, all right, you know what? Let's go see if we can maybe get tickets to a matinee. They've got that tickets thing where whatever they have left over, you can get it. They're not free, but they're less than they would be if you bought them first time. Yeah, that's it. That's where you can't believe how beautiful that was in person. And it was just really very moving. Those real camels, they keep in stalls there. And there's the Rockettes. But they're good at what they do, I have to say. I mean, their precision they're perfect. But Color Purple is back on Broadway. And I saw the original when Kenny Leon first did it at the Alliance years ago. Debbie and I went to see it, and Jimmy and Rosalind Carter were sitting behind us, and it was really good. So I never saw it on Broadway. Oprah produced it for a while on Broadway. Then it left. Now it's back on, and Jennifer Hudson is playing Suge Avery. So that was on my short list of things to go. But I also wanted to see George Takei's, and he's got a thing about a true story from when he was in the Japanese internment camp when he was a kid. So it was between those two, and those were both on the list. So I just happened to go to this one woman. I said, all right, if it's between Color Purple and Allegiance, which could you give me 2 better seats for? And she said, seriously, you're gonna ask me, you're gonna choose between George Takei and Jennifer Hudson? You're going to see Jennifer Hudson. I said, yes, ma'am. And so we did, and this is what's really cool. Indulge me one more story of my wonderful life. But there's an Italian restaurant there that I love called Carmine's. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's insanely too much food. We always get food and take it out and take it to homeless people because it's more food than you could possibly eat. So yeah, that was our table. Those were not bottles on our table. Like, wow, y'all had a big time. No, that's just in the windowsill. But we had about an hour and a half before Color Purple, and I said, let's just try Carmine's. Well, when you walk in, it looks like Mardi Gras in there. There are so many people packed in, and I thought they're going to laugh at me if I ask for a table. But I said, is there any way we don't have reservations? Could we possibly get a table for 2? And the guy said, well, you might be able to get a high top in the bar in an hour from now. He said, basically, don't even ask for a table, but you might get a high top. I said, okay, that's fine. He said, what's your name? I said, Jim. All right. So help me. We're like pushing through the people to go stand in the bar. The woman comes up to me and goes, are you Jim? I said, yes. She goes, come with me. They take us to the best table I've ever had in Carmine's in a window. And I'm like, did she get the wrong Jim? I mean, like, we literally just walked in. We didn't have any wait at all. And I was like, "Is this a mistake?" And don't say anything. Like, okay. We just walked very, and got there. And Color Purple was great. I actually like this reinterpret. They've tweaked it a little bit. Um, a lot of people don't understand. Oh, that was before it started. That's the it's a really cool uh, staging. Uh, and Jennifer Hudson did great. I mean, she's a great singer. You can tell she's not trained as a stage actor. Like these women that played Celie and Nettie and Sophia, they're unbelievable. They will blow you away. They're so good. Um, and I don't, I didn't really read the book. I read parts of the book. The book is quite different from the movie. I mean, let's just say that Steven Spielberg sanitized it quite a bit. The Color Purple book is explicitly sexual. Well, some of you are going right out to buy it. Well, but a lot of people miss. I mean, Alice Walker's, she's gay and she's a feminist and she has a certain paradigm. But this really caught the essence of the book better than even the previous production that I saw. And a lot of people don't realize. Remember when Color Purple came out? The movie came out. NAACP was just trashing it and said that it portrayed African American men in a bad light. What they didn't understand is Alice Walker was not trashing men. She was talking about the issue that women, especially in the South, especially women of color, especially years ago, that was a true experience. She wasn't making that up. That was the reality. But in the story, and you got to really watch the movie to get this, Mr. gets rehabilitated in the story. Remember when Celie says, she says, nothing you do is everything you do is going to crumble until you do right by me. And she kind of puts the mojo on him, and sure enough, his life does fall apart. Well, he redeems himself. Remember when Nettie and the other people wanted to come home? Mister's the one that, remember when he goes out to the shed and he's got that money hidden, and he's the one that pays their way to come back. That's why, like at the last of the movie, when they're all standing out there and you look over and you see him, look, and he's smiling, it's because he did it. Well, in the play, they really accentuate that a lot more, and I guess that's the way it was in the book. He did an act of redemption, and he was redeemed. And there's a scene, I know that Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover, who, by the way, John Wanza just worked with last week. Did you see John Wanza's his understudy? But there's a scene that they filmed for the movie that was never in there, where Celie and Mr. years later talk about their life, and they've resolved everything. And he even actually asks her to marry him again, and she says, "No, let's just be friends." But what's awesome about the way the thing ends, Alice Walker's coming from a very universalist idea of God. That the phrase "color purple" is when they're walking through. She says she refers to God as it. She goes, "It just wants to be noticed," and I think it ticks God off. She says, "Pisses ticks God off." If you walk through the color purple and don't notice it. But in the play, it was, I looked for God out in the universe and I couldn't see him, but I looked inside, I found God was inside everyone. And they end singing, "Look what God has done." And then Jennifer Hudson singing big time, "Look what God has done," and God's in everybody. I'm like, oh, we're about to have church up in here. So that was awesome. We had a great time. And the rest of the day was, we did some more sightseeing. It's crazy, crowded. If you're agoraphobic, do not go to Manhattan around Christmas time, because it's insane. And now everybody's taking selfies everywhere. It's like thousands of people with phones like this. And it was fine. We got back and we're here. And that was my wonderful trip, my wonderful life. Yeah, that's Starbucks. They do a thing where they take your picture and post it. So anyway, thank you for letting me tell my praise report. Are you ready for the word? All right. This is my scripture that I'm talking about this month, and I'm going to let Linus say it to us, and then I'll talk about it a little bit, please, if you will.
I guess you were right, Linus. I shouldn't have picked this little tree. Everything I do turns into a disaster.
This year's the 50th anniversary
of this. I don't know what Christmas is all about. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David.
I love this little mannerism he does right here when he's being prophetic.
And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe
I love that. It's so
wrapped in
mystical.
clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
All right. Classic. This month we're talking about that it's Luke 2:14. The angel says, peace on earth, goodwill. Better translated, goodwill to people. Last week we talked from the Jewish Bible. It's peace on earth to people of goodwill, which kind of is a little bit of a different take on it. And this year we've talked a lot about the power of intention, and intention and will are the same word. And the reason my title this month is, goodwill in a turbulent world, is it's very easy to become cynical with everything from all that's happening in the world. It was hot in New York this week, and it snowed in Egypt, and there's crazy stuff going on. And the election process has gotten so polarized that I can't tell you there's any candidate, Republican or Democrat, that I'm that jazzed about. You know what I mean? It's like this year, it's like, I guess I'll vote for so-and-so, but it's like a lesser of, I'm not excited about it. It's like process of elimination, and I'll end up voting for that one. But, which is all the more reason why you have to maintain the intention that you're going to live goodwill. Like the song, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. There's a point to that. And whether it's actually the story about a virgin conceiving and giving birth to a baby, laying him in a manger, all the Christmas stories are about, just about all of them are about supernatural intervention and about someone having a paradigm shift. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's a very secular idea. But the Grinch, remember when he steals Christmas from Whoville, and then he sees that they had Christmas anyway, it's like he gets born again. Remember, it says his heart grows 3 sizes. So he has this paradigm shift. He has a revelation of goodwill. On It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey is cynical about his life and hates Bedford Falls and wishes he could have gotten out. But then the angel Clarence comes and shows him what the world would have been like if he had not been born. And so, as cheesy as you may think it is, there's that one scene where Jimmy Stewart, who was phenomenal in that movie, where, he had initially tried to commit suicide, and then he's like, I want to live, God, please let me live. And every time, oh, geez, like, get the Kleenex. But it's a paradigm shift. And suddenly he realizes they have little nuanced things. Like, remember when he hated they lived in the old drafty house, and that the thing on in the staircase always would come off. And when he comes back in after he's been born again, he takes it and kisses it like he's so happy, and he sees his wife, he sees the kids. Says, are you real? I feel like I could eat you up. Well, that's not really talking about Jesus, but it's talking about it's talking about the Word made flesh. It's like a word to him became manifested, and it changed his paradigm. That's why I don't like when people gripe and moan about Christmas, because Christmas is important. It's important that you stop and enjoy. Even Meredith, we got your cards. Meredith makes cards, and I can tell she went to some effort, and they're very very cool how she does it. And I thought, well, that was sweet of her to take the time to make us a thank you card and a Christmas card. Yes, we have it. It's displayed in our loft. It does matter just to, out of this dark world, to stop and have a moment of kindness, of goodwill, of peace, of something. Like even one of the cab drivers this week, I had a larger bill and I needed change back, and I said, you know what, never mind, just keep it. Merry Christmas. And it just felt good to say that. That should be your excuse to manifest or to will good into your life. The Charlie Brown Christmas, the same thing, where he, this was made in the 60s, so it was a lot about commercialism and stuff. But after Linus tells him that, remember, they come out and it cracks me up because the tree looks so pathetic and they all do some stuff too. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's all full. But he has a paradigm shift. And a Christmas Carol, the Charles Dickens classic, it's really about inner healing and about therapy, because remember the three ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future. They come and they really show Ebenezer Scrooge's life and say, this is why you're like this. This is why, it's to have been written in the 1800s. It was very psychologically insightful. It's a Wonderful Life, because it's basically saying, like the scripture says, the curse causeless does not come. But if you meet somebody that's a real Scrooge or a Grinch, there's a reason why they're like that. And A Christmas Carol gets beneath the surface and says, find out why somebody is saying bah humbug. There may be good reason, and it's like keys of the kingdom. The ghosts tap into that, and they unlock Christmas Day. And I love that scene where Ebenezer Scrooge, are y'all still with me in all these stories? I know I'm mentioning a lot of stories. I'm assuming you know them all. But when he opens up the window and he goes, hey, you boy, what day is it? And he says, why, it's Christmas Day, sir. And it's like, he's so happy that he didn't miss it. And it's like, it's beautiful. I don't want to ever get so cynical that I can't see those things and them move me. And I'm not going to re-preach these sermons to you that I've preached over the years, but the songs have characters in them that are very, the little drummer boy. You remember that one year I was preaching about the little drummer boy, and I couldn't stop crying. I was like, I went all Tammy Faye Baker on everybody, and fortunately I wasn't wearing eyeliner at the time. But there's that line in there where he says, because as a writer I listen to lyrics. Why did that guy write that lyric? And he says, baby Jesus, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, I am a poor boy too, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, that's fit to give a king, pa-rum. Well, that's something, if you've wanted to give something to somebody and you didn't have the wherewithal, that's something you can relate to. That's a very human experience. While these kings are coming with gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and you're like, I don't have anything. And there's this little line there. If you've ever been creative, if you have a gift, if you have an art, if you have a calling, that's the best you have. Like what I'm doing right now, this is the best I am all week, I think, because I'm doing the thing that I'm called to do. And there's this little lyric there that the drummer boy says that makes himself very vulnerable, where he says, shall I play for you? Pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. You're really exposing yourself to say that. Because basically you're saying is, all I got is this little talent to hit this drum. And it may even be presumptuous of me to even offer it to you as a gift. My little stupid drum solo. And when he says, shall I play for you? And it says, Mary nodded, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, the ox and lamb kept time, and then this is where it gets me. And my personal favorite cover of this is the Bob Seger's. Somehow his rock and roll voice really captures the intensity of this, where it says, I played my drum for him. I played my best for him. And your best is all you can do. Your little talent, whatever it is, you do your best. That's as good as it gets. And he says, I played my drum for him. I played my best for him. And that the payoff is, then he smiled at me, me and my drum, me and my little insignificant life, me and my little insignificant talent. That's a beautiful sentiment. All the Christmas carols say something. Even last night, I never watch. I know Andy Stanley, and we were kind of friends back in the '80s. I'm not even sure you even remember me, but he comes on after Saturday Night Live, and I watched him last night. And it was a really good message. It was really a message about ultimate reconciliation, because he was using the phrase "God and sinners reconciled," past tense, and he even said this is a big bone of contention among Christians. Are all sinners already reconciled? And he preached out of 2 Corinthians 5 about God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself. And I thought, dude, you better be careful. I lost a lot of people in my church when I started preaching that. But as long as you don't talk about hell, as long as you give them hell, they'll be okay. Because do not take that hell away. The Bible Belt people love them some hell. Anyway, and that's universal, whether you're Pentecostal or Roman Catholic or Baptist. Everybody got hell in common. The Catholic Church recently did away with, no, they still have purgatory, but they did away with limbo. Limbo is when, so they're getting there. They're moving, and this is the most progressive pope we've ever had. So baby steps. Limbo is where they used to believe babies that didn't get baptized that died went. Like they just in limbo. So then they decided, nah, I'm like, all right, it's a start. Anyway. But I was listening to that last night, and even, people laugh when I say Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a very powerful concept, but it is. Anybody who's ever been marginalized or ostracized because of something about you that people think is odd or different, if you've ever been called a racial epithet, or if you've been the brunt of homophobia or xenophobia, or any of the things that seem to be manifesting so much in our culture now, it says all of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. I don't know if you've ever been called names. I have. That's something that's a jolly little song. All of the other reindeer. Woo! If you've ever been traumatized by people laughing and calling you names, that's deep. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. That hurts, man, when you realize I'm not one of the group, and this thing that I have on the end of my face, I have no control over. I was born with this. Paul called it his thorn of the flesh. Rudolph called it his red nose. It's this thing, like it's who I am, and I don't know what to tell you. And but the beauty of that song is, then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? In other words, the thing that has caused everybody to ostracize you and make fun of you is actually the thing that makes you special and important. Man, that is a huge concept. In other words, everything that you thought is wrong with you is everything that's right with you. What? Drop the mic. I mean, that's beautiful. I said that to a group of preachers one time. I said, have y'all ever thought about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? And they all laughed. I thought, God, you guys are so shallow. Check, please. Can I find some mystical people to hang out with? Yeah, you don't even deserve me sitting at this table with you, because I'm casting my pearls before you piggies. You should be like, no, tell me more. I was looking for quotes last night, none of which I'm using today, but one of them said, most people don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. And I thought, wow, that's true. And another one I liked was, don't forgive somebody because they deserve it. Forgive them because you deserve peace. You're welcome. You heard me? So this is what I want to leave you with today, and this is very practical. And then I'm going to let you out of here, and we're going to go change clothes and paint my mother's living room red. That's yes, we are tired, but we're doing it because we want to do it before Christmas Eve, because we're doing Christmas Eve over there, and we promised her we would paint her living room red before Christmas, so we're doing it. And you know what this one right here said last night? We were flying back, and I said, are you sure you're going to be up to painting tomorrow? I mean, it's been quite a week, and he's got to go back to work Monday. And he said, I'd go right now and paint all night if you said to us. I'm taking you to New York. And he would. If I said let's go right now, he'd get up and go. One thing I love about him, he works hard. So if he sits for a few minutes on the couch, he's going to doze off. That's fine, and I'm fine with it. But I also know if I said we got to go do something right now, he'd be up and he'd be all night long and never complain about it. So you need one like that. Get one like that. So anyway, this is what I want to leave you with, and I'm saying with my heart could not be any purer. I mean, I'm saying this with absolutely no agenda whatsoever. But, I have on my main page, I stay at 5,000 friends, which is your limit. And there's a waiting list. There's about 10 or 12 people waiting to get on now. And every few days, they don't always unfriend me. Sometimes they close out their page or something. So and I will usually post on my fan page. I have a couple of openings right now on my personal page, for those of you that have asked, and within a few minutes I'll get the request, and so I stay at that, and it's fine. And most of these are people that I'm not talking to all the time, but I see them on there, and some of them I'm not sure why they stay friends with me, but I'm like, all right, as long as you want to play nice, it's cool, and I can see your life and you see mine, and it's fine. I for the most part, social media is very positive for me, and I got probably about 1,000 people blocked who didn't want to play nice. And I'm like, I don't do that. I'm not gonna fight with you. You stress me out, block. And if you can behave yourself, I'll let you back in. But I don't want to do it. I'm not going to argue about something I've already written a book about. Just buy the book and shut up. The last few days, I've noticed different people that I've never heard from will like on something. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And nobody try to figure out what I'm talking about, because I know there's a lot of 6 degrees of separation in here. But I even have like family members that they're friends with me, and they'll like on everything but a picture of Ken and me. It's like they've got to make sure that and I'm like, I get it. Y'all don't like it. Y'all have made your point for half a decade now. I got it. And last night I had a family member that actually liked. It wasn't super complimentary. It was a little bit of a joke, but this person acknowledged us. And I thought, you know what? Baby steps. For this person, I will not even say a gender, so nobody can figure out if I'm saying him or her. But for this person, that's progress. And then I noticed, like yesterday, there was somebody that they left, and not real badly, but said a couple of hurtful things, whatever, and wrote last night, everybody I know from Church of the Now that's left can't find another pastor that's like you. And I thought, wow, you know what? That took a lot of courage for you to put that on my page. I get a lot of Nicodemuses that come by night to the inbox. A lot of them, like, please don't tell anybody I'm asking you to pray, because I have to hold my position that I protest, but would you please pray? But I said, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, because I did appreciate it. And there's other people on there that were posting things last night that I posted on, and they're never going to acknowledge that I say something. Like, they will not like on it. If I tell them happy birthday, whatever, they will ignore me. They will like on everybody else's but mine. And I'm like, I get it. You're mad at me. But here's my point. At a certain time in your life, I don't care who's done what to you. And I'm not making this about me, because I know I haven't been perfect. I've not been a perfect father. I've not been a perfect pastor. I've not been a perfect husband. I mean, I've never claimed to be. I've been a good one, and there's some good things about it, but I've never, perfect people exist with leprechauns and unicorns and the tooth fairy. So I don't expect you to be, and it's unreasonable for you to expect me to be. We're doing what we do, and just because you have a gift to teach something doesn't mean you have a gift to live it. And just because you know how to explain it to people doesn't mean you're not working through it just the same way. If I teach to you about walking in faith, I have to go out and figure out how to walk in faith myself. That doesn't mean that I know how to do it. It means I'm learning it. The prophetic part of preaching is, it surprises me as I'm saying it. Like, wow, I didn't even know I knew that. So, and all of you, I'm preaching to the choir, y'all all know this, y'all got this. But at a certain point, just continuing to hold a grudge for whatever anybody did, it starts making you look really ridiculous. Now, I can tell you this. I know that anytime, most of you came out of church in the now. And I'm glad that we have other people here that didn't, because I need that. One thing I love about when people like Marshall sing here is they didn't come from church in the now, and that I like having a different energy. Now, next month, Cindy Stanfield's going to be here, and that's great. But so I'm glad that I can have both. But and I may post something about this, but I want to say to everybody, like whoever you're mad at, including me, whatever you don't like, just at a certain point, let it go and have some Christmas and say, maybe there's some things we're not going to ever resolve. But like even at Sandra's service the other day, there's a bunch of people I saw that really kind of broke my heart, but people coming up and talking to me, and it was, what's the point? We're all here because we love this woman. There's no point in us getting into a thing. There was somebody that walked by me and I said, hey, and they literally went like that and would not speak to me. I mean, literally, I thought, really? At a funeral, I'm going to say hey to you and you're going to do that and not. I put my hand on their shoulder to make sure they heard me. I said, hey, how you doing? And I got that. And right after that, Paulette walked up and we started talking. I said, you know what? Let's go to Blue Willow. And we went to Blue Willow and a bunch of us did. And because I thought, you know what? You're the one that's suffering for that, because I don't care. I've gone on with my life, but you can't even, even if you hated me for whatever stupid reason, it's just making you look like an idiot at this funeral where we all should be just sad that we lost Sandra. That's what we should be bonding over. And we could leave. And then other people walked up to me and we sat there and talked and we were civil, because you know what? We're not just Christians, we're grown-ups. And this is what I've noticed. And I know this is true for you. I know this, they don't mind me saying this. I know like Ernie and Leona are friends with people that disconnected from me. And a lot of you are, and it puts you in well, what do I do now? And if you're an adult, you can say, look, whatever your issue is with him is not our issue. So if you need to leave and move on, that's fine. You need to know if you start trashing our bishop, something's going to go down. Like if you tried to talk bad to me about Leona, she's probably going to cut you. But so don't go there. But if you can play nice, and if you've gone on to another church, that's fine. They're not trying to get you to come to Metron, just fine. Go if we can have a relationship outside of that and be grown-ups, then fine. We'll still see y'all. And it shouldn't be, it's silly that Christians are this way where like somebody leaves the church and nobody else can ever talk to them. I'm not even that way. I still talk to them. So, if I could, believe me, if I can talk to them after the stuff they've said to me, you should be able to. They didn't say stuff to you. If I could forgive them, you should be able to. So I'm only saying that. I'm not bringing up crap from the past. I'm just saying this peace on earth, goodwill to people is very real to me, especially this week. So I want to put this out there to you today. Do whatever you can to make it right with people. And some things, to try to dig up a bunch of stuff from the past and discuss it is just obnoxious. And there should be some statute of limitations. If something happened over a year ago and y'all haven't resolved it, then can we just agree to say, look, you said some shizbot and I said some cow substance. We did. And you hurt me and I hurt you. Touche. Okay, fine. And we might not ever be big buds after this, but come on, it's Christmas. And this is, if there's ever a chance, these next few hours, if there's ever a chance for you to have an excuse or a reason to just be benevolent to somebody and just have some goodwill and say, look, the nature of our relationship may have changed, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person or that I regret that I knew you, because you put something good in my life. And we don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to agree politically. This was supposed, pardon me for being an idealist. This is supposed to have been in America where there is an exchange of ideas. And you can say something that I might be just shocked that you believe that, but I think, well, it's America. Okay. I don't see it that way, but if that's the way you see it, who was it? Voltaire that said, I may disagree with everything that you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. Somebody said that. Somebody smart said it. And I said it then. You can quote me. Y'all know sometimes I notice y'all will post something on Facebook and ascribe it to me. Like you'll say something and say, Bishop Jim Swilley. I'm like, no, I didn't say. I'm quoting somebody. Please don't let your friends think that I'm telling you. I said to be or not to be. No, I just quoted Shakespeare. Check your sources because your friends think I'm saying that I said that and I didn't. At my 40th ministry anniversary, Jonah did this thing where he showed 40 things that I've said over the years, and like half of them were scriptures. I'm like, and I said, Jonah, that's not. I'm quoting the scripture when I say that. Oh, I just thought you said that. You gotta reference your quotes. My dad said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. No. I didn't say that. And do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bring up. I can't tell you how much goodwill I feel toward people. And they were like last night when I'm online constantly. We're last night looking at the light show in New York, and people are saying stuff, and it's fine. I don't mind it at all. It's like I'm talking about New York, and people are like, oh, we saw that show last year, whatever. That's cool. It's interactive. I love that. And there's some people that will say something. I'll scroll down. I'll say something. They're just not going to like on it. They're just, and they're going to make their point. And they're passive aggressive. And I'm like, y'all, it's so over. I don't, come on, enjoy Christmas. Just hit like. You don't even say anything. Just got like. Never speak to me again. But you could just do that. I just wrote something on your page. No, I'm going to show you've made your point and I've made my point. Can we just have Christmas now and just have a little goodwill and just, and I'm saying this to you before you get with family members this week that y'all got long held issues that have never been resolved. And I've got to tell you, you may go the distance and not resolve them. I hate to tell you that. But there are some family members they remember things or see things the way they don't see it the way you see it. And there's no point in bringing it up again because you know them and they know you. So just enjoy it. Some of my, what's left of my mom's siblings, they're going to get together on Tuesday and she said, they want you to come. I said, are you sure? Are you sure everybody wants me to come? And she said, oh yeah. I said, okay, that's fine. If everybody can play nice, I'll be nice, and it's all good. And because Christmas is real to me, and I have lived outside of peace, and living in peace on earth is really, really good. Even, I sat down Wednesday night and I played "O Holy Night," and I don't really play the piano anymore. I don't have a place to practice. And, Judah didn't bring the keyboard that I wanted. The keyboard I thought he was bringing had full 88 keys and the keys would be weighted and they weren't. And so I was a little bit stressed out about that. And then right before we got started, they couldn't get the sustain pedal to work. And bless his heart, Jeff walked in early. I said, Ken, please take everybody out there and tell them, do not come in until we get this piano fixed. Peace on earth. It wasn't about you. Jeff was being all jolly. He was like, get the hell out of here. But I started I could feel myself getting stressed about it. And, the boys were trying to fix it and they're both online Googling how do you fix sustain, because it was just working backwards. And I can't do a slow song without a sustain pedal. And I said, great. I have worked so hard putting this thing together and we've spent money and it all comes down to it's screwed because of a sustain pedal. And Jonah said, is that what you really feel, Dad? I said, but he made his point. I thought, you know what? You're right. I got to get a grip. And they fixed it. And it was what it was. And it was, it was fine. But the point is like, I just enjoyed having that moment. I don't have any grandiose ideas that it was the best thing you ever heard. It just was what it was. But this is what I loved about it. Christina was standing there videoing it, and she said afterwards, she said, I've always loved to hear you sing, but you sound different now. Since you came out, you just sing different. I just feel the joy in your voice, and it feels like you're really telling the truth when you sing. I said, you know what? That was the best Christmas present you could give me, because that is how I feel. And when I meet people, let me tell you, just because there doesn't exist a 501c3 called Church in the Now anymore does not mean that the idea and the consciousness of Church in the Now isn't alive and well. I do live in the now. And when I meet people who are still stuck in something that happened years ago, I'm like, really? You're still stuck in that? So if you haven't forgiven me or somebody else for something that happened in 1998, or then you're living in 1998 and you've missed a lot, because 2015 was awesome, and I'm really excited about 2016. I mean, I want to enjoy. I know I'm just on this every week, but I can't say it enough. It's all going so fast that you need to just enjoy every bit of it. And I said this at, I got to shut up. We got to go paint. We still got to go home and change. He said this morning, are we going to come home and change words? I said, no, we're painting this. You're a neat painter. We're not going to spill it. Only an amateur would need to change clothes. We'll paint and we'll be right out of there. No, this is what I was going to say. I said this at Dan's funeral Wednesday, and several people said to me afterwards, like, oh my God, that just changed my life. But I was talking about a line, and I've shared this with you before, but it makes my point. From Thornton Wilder's play, Our Town, if you've ever seen it. It's a surrealist play. Thornton Wilder is the one that wrote The Matchmaker that became Hello, Dolly, but he's also famous for Our Town. And there's a scene in it where the main character dies, and all the people are around her grave. They're standing there with umbrellas, and then all the dead are on the other side of the stage. And so she leaves the living and she goes and stands with the dead, so the people who are dead are looking at the people who are alive still at the graveside. And so she's saying to the rest of them, I can't believe it's over. I can't believe, I'm going to miss it so much. And I wish I could just go back and live one day. And they said, well, not many people know this, but everybody's allowed to go back and live one day. You can go back if you want to, and you get to choose which day it would be. And she said, well, then I would want to go back on my wedding day or the day my firstborn child was born. And then they said, no, if you're going to go back on the most uneventful, most boring day that you could imagine, because even then you're going to be so amazed at how wonderful it was and how much you didn't realize how every minute counted, that if you were to go to an important day, it would just be unbearable. And I remember in high school reading that, it really caused a paradigm shift with me. And I do remember that. And that's why I don't make any apologies about going on a trip and telling you that we got a table easily, because I appreciate it so much. And let me tell you, this is laws of attraction 101, but the more you appreciate the stuff, the more stuff is attracted to you for which that you can appreciate. But let me tell you, Jesus said, to them that have, more will be given. To them that have not, it'll be taken away. The more you complain about what you don't have this Christmas, the less you're going to have. Whether you call it God or the universe or the Holy Spirit or whatever, it, he, she, whatever, does not respond to a victim mentality. Even if Jesus is moved with compassion, it still doesn't get results for you. Results come when you say, I am careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, I will make my request known to God. Well, Bishop, this Christmas is going to be kind of lean. Then be thankful you have what you have. Look, there are people all the time that will say, I didn't really have money to to give to you this year, so I baked you this cranberry bread or whatever. Fine. That's beautiful. I'm appreciate that you went to the effort to do that. And there's no little gift. Do you know what I mean? It really is the thought that counts. And it's all about goodwill. It's about when I walk in past my kitchen, I see Meredith's little card with the needles off the little wreath are coming off. But I'm like, it looks kind of Charlie Brownish. I'm like, Meredith's little card. And that's sweet. I have the thought toward, oh, she loves my son. My son loves her. That makes me happy. I'm happy that he's happy. It's like, well, it's just a card. No, there's a vibration attached to it that helps bring goodwill into my life. And I am grateful for that. I want my kids to be happy. And, you know, with Judah's been on again, off again with Michelle for I don't know however long. And I told him the other day, I said, whatever y'all are, I don't care. If y'all, you don't have to explain anything to us. If y'all are broken up, fine. If y'all are still friends, fine. If you want to bring her Christmas, fine. I just want everybody to be happy. And and that's kind of what I loved about, somebody shut me up so I can get out of here and go paint. What I loved about the end of The Color Purple, because all the characters are standing out there and they're singing, look what God has done. And you look at that and all these people have gone through this intense drama in their life, but they all ended up okay. And so we're all going to be, you know, it's all okay. I'm telling way too much today because I'm a little sleep deprived. But in Ken's family, they do the old school exchanging gift thing. So, you know, everybody, and so we got our names and I opened mine, and there's one name in there that's like, it's ironic. Let's just say someone who has insulted him and me, that we had said, that person ain't getting nothing from us. You know, when you have that. So I opened mine and I said, okay, I'm going to predict who yours is. And he said, it better not be. And it was. And he's like, because he said, I'm going to fall on the floor if that's that. And I said, open it up. And he fell on the floor. He said, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's peace on earth, because we're grown-ups and we're going to go get, you know, I'm going to get that person something too. It would be real easy for me, like, I ain't even talking to you. You didn't just insult me, you insulted my ministry. But it's peace on earth, goodwill to, you know what I mean? Well, Bishop, you don't know what they did to me. I promise you I can top your story. Whatever you want to say that somebody did to you, whether it's betrayal or whatever, I could, if I don't top your story, I can compete with it pretty good. I can keep coming up with something that you're like, okay, you win. That was worse. But it doesn't matter. I'm just so happy I lived to see another Christmas. I'm so happy we got to celebrate another Christmas together. I love you very, very much. I have got to shut up. Peace on earth, goodwill to people. Please stand. Please hit this, if you will. If you're making a check, make it to JESM, and Dan will be back
Contributing to
there for you.
Metron is quick and easy. Simply text the amount you would like to
I know
give
you all know this, but we need this for the
404
YouTube people.
620-5044.
Easy
And
peasy.
now you can give anytime by texting this number. You will then receive a one-time registration form that links your phone number and opens your account at SimpleGive. Complete the form, and you will then receive a successful registration and donation page. For additional information on your account, visit bishandthenow.com and click the Support tab. Then, My Online Donation. When you contribute to Metron, you're also supporting the charity or organization of the month. Thank you for your investment in Metron.
I speak a blessing over you. Those of you that might be going out of town this week for the Christmas holiday, you're blessed when you go out. You're blessed when you come back in. I speak prosperity over you. Whatever you need to get done in these next few hours, don't be stressed out over it. You can do all things through Christ. You're strong, you're able, you're intelligent. Everything will get done. Everything will fall into place. Stop thinking about how stressed you are and start concentrating on how blessed you are. The more you rejoice in your blessings, the more you bring blessings into your life. Whatever Christmas is for you this year, whether it's fabulous with a turkey and a big family, or if it's you sitting opening a can of beans, then celebrate that can of beans and enjoy it and be thankful you got that. Reach out to people, forgive people. Let these words I've spoken today remain in your heart and in your mind. The angel came to say, peace on earth, goodwill to people, or peace on earth to people of goodwill. I agree with your intentions. I believe you're going to have the best Christmas ever. It is well with your spirit, soul, and body. And you wake up tomorrow saying, this is the day the Lord has enabled me to make. I will rejoice and be glad in it. God bless you. Go in peace. Merry Christmas.